ayahe, ayayere, uyo, uko, kuno, apo, pano, mamu wanna get it, nice.
Right, 1 November 2021, and I'm joined by my usual guest, Mr. Panganai Mhlanga. How are you, sir?
No, I'm good, pardon, Gambake, Mr. Gambake. That's perfect. Nice to have you also, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Fantastic. And today is a very, very interesting day. I've been waiting for some time to address this topic. There was a court challenge, or there is a court challenge currently going on against President Mnangagwa in the, I think it's the High Court. And this court case is very, very interesting. It was brought on by a member of ZANU-PF who is called Sybeth Msengezi. And I don't know if you've seen this court challenge.
Yes, I've heard about the court challenge and where it was submitted. Yes, I'm pretty much aware of it here from Sybeth.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a lot of time to talk, but what I've done is I've taken the court papers. So the full court papers, I've put them on gambaku.com. I've also added a document that has been circulating in ZANU-PF circles called The Struggle for the Vice Presidency. So I've added that document on gambaku.com. If you go there right now, you'll be able to see that document. So this case needs us to unpack it so that we can know or understand what is going on. Have you managed to read through the court papers?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. The thing with the application with regards to is seeking nullification of the presidency of E.D. Mnangagwa. That's what Sybeth is saying in those application papers that he submitted. According to my research, guys, remember this is an unpacking based on my own opinion in terms of how he has done it and unpack it for the viewers to actually understand exactly what's going on here. The papers were actually submitted at the High Court in Bulawayo, and his geographical location is Harare, and also he's a Shona. Not that tribal is a fact or of any concern, but I was just asking myself, why would he go all the way to submit such court papers in Bulawayo and not Harare, which is nearer to him?
Okay, I did talk to Mkoma Sybeth this afternoon. Unfortunately, he is in an area with very bad network, so he was unable to come on the show. But I want us to unpack the document, and let us then go to our own conclusions. As I said, there's a document called The Struggle for the Vice Presidency regarding this case, which I've uploaded on gambaku.com. It was sent to me by sources. So I've put it over there. It is making some allegations about this whole court case. I also want us to look deeper in the case, particularly what it is that Sybeth wants the court to grant him. So let's go through the document. Specifically, let's go through the respondents. Who are the respondents in this case? Do you have the court paper in front of you?
I do not have the court papers in front
of
me.
I do have it, so it's okay. I'm going to share it for everybody to see. So Sybeth Msengezi is the applicant. I've put it on the screen. And he is suing ZANU-PF, E.D. Mnangagwa, Obet Mpofu, Patrick Nyamasa, Mpoko, and Chombo. Does that make sense to you?
No, it doesn't. I believe that even in court of law, the way he is projecting his message is against E.D. Mnangagwa, but with regards to whom he mentioned as the first respondent, it's ZANU-PF, not ED. So his fight is towards ZANU-PF, and he's hiding behind that. And he could have done much better in terms of how he would have listed the respondents in his court or in this application. So it doesn't make sense actually at all, because this is not about ED, but the way he spoke on SABC, it sounded like he is against MDC, but in actual fact, this is a direct attack on ZANU-PF, not ED, because they have been listed as the first respondent, and the second respondent is ED and the other guys.
Okay, so let's look at what he wants. And I want to play Cybeth briefly here, 1 minute video. He was on, I think, SABC or ETV. Let's have that 1 minute clip.
The issue is that all of this was done outside the provisions of the party's constitution, because the constitution clearly stipulates that only the Secretary of Administration is the only one who could convene lawfully a session of the Central Committee in the exercise of his or her powers under Article 9, Section 48 of the ZANU-PF Constitution.
Okay. So you heard him.
Yes, I did.
He's saying the ascendancy of President Mnangagwa was not done according to the constitution of ZANU-PF. And he says, if you go through the court papers, he says that Mpoko was not incapacitated, and the conduct of those who attended the special session was illegal, was null and void. So what is he seeking here if he's saying what they did there was null and void?
Okay, I think first we need to address the Article 9, Section 48, if he actually did understand what that article says in the Constitution for ZANU-PF. It does not give the Secretary of Administration the complete rights to hold a meeting. It says that the main functions of and the responsibilities of the Secretary of Administration shall be to act as Secretary for the National People's Congress, the National People's Conference, the National Central Committee, and the National Consultative Assembly, and the Politburo. It doesn't say that it gives the Secretary of Administration the rights to be to convene a meeting. So that is a misunderstanding on his part, because to act as does not mean that a person has got the right. He has been given the right to act as. I think we'll go on with the video, and also he mentioned another Article 7, 37.7, that he is arguing with regards to how that meeting was done. But you find that my question mainly is why today, and not when that meeting was held, and not when actually Robert Mugabe resigned, and not when the conference was held, because there is a timeline of things that happened here. Okay. On the 19th of November, that's when the special central committee was held, and he's arguing the incapacity that the second secretary was not incapacitated or in whatever form. That's his argument. But that meeting held in his absence, and nobody stopped him to attend that meeting. So I don't understand where this basis is coming from.
Okay, I don't even want to pretend to be a lawyer or to understand the ZANU-PF Constitution, but I think the document that is in front of us it needs a deeper analysis. So let's go to the order that is seeking. He is seeking an order, right? Yes. That the first respondent passed an unlawful meeting. So the meeting was unlawful. That's what he's saying. Then he's saying he wants an order directing the fifth respondents in his capacity as the lawful vice president, who is Mpoko, right? And the second secretary of the first respondent, immediately prior to 19 November 2017, to take all the necessary steps in terms of first respondent's constitution to convene and preside over a special extraordinary Congress of the first respondents for the purpose of regularizing the top leadership positions in the first respondent within 3 months of granting this order. He wants ZANU-PF, he wants Mpoko to be allowed to redo the extraordinary Congress, special extraordinary Congress. What does that mean for President Mnangagwa if this order is granted?
I would speculate, like what the last question, what it would mean to ED, and I don't know what to speak on his behalf, but I would speculate that it will be devastating for him if that court order is granted. But at the same time, we need to look at the section 37, let me open it, 37.7, Article 7, 37.7, right? He is arguing on issues that are right there in front of his eyes. Because like I've already argued the fact that it is not the Secretary of Administration that has got the right to convene a meeting. That meeting was done within the constitution of ZANU-PF. And it actually mentions the issues regarding a special conference that was called for, and it was special then, and it was called by the members, and they convened that such meeting using section 37.7. That is arguing, but it's right in front of his eyes to understand that this was a special Congress, and it was done accordingly.
Okay, as I said, I talked to Mkoma Saibeth, and he was unfortunately unable to come here. Maybe if we get an opportunity, we'll talk to him and we'll get to understand what is the logic behind what he's doing. But yes, have you seen the document called The Struggle for the Vice Presidency?
I would want you to send it to me, but I believe it's an internal document that was, it actually just looks at how ZANU-PF within the fights that are within ZANU-PF, but we haven't seen those fights escalating into the public eyes and stuff. So it's an internal issue that was reported, and
okay,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
this is a very dangerous document, which makes some very, very serious allegations.
Yes,
against people in the party, in the presidium. What do you think is going on? Let's unpack this document, Struggle for the Vice President. It's on gambago.com right now. It's been circulating in ZANU-PF groups. It makes straight accusations against people in the presidium. Do you think Mkoma Saibeth is working for somebody?
Yes, I do. I actually do, because in his interview on SABC, and he actually mentioned that some people in the Politburo are actually supporting him, and he claimed, without giving evidence or mentioning names of anybody, he actually claimed that he is being supported by some people who are actually also part of the Politburo. So obviously, yes, he's working with somebody. He's not alone on this thing. And he hasn't disclosed the names of those people.
Okay, there are also some prophets who are mentioned here. Dr. Ian Jovu, Talent Chiwenga, Obey Mukanairi, or Melontic Oras. Do you think prophets are part of ZANU-PF fight?
Oh, with prophets, I think people confuse prediction and prophecy. That's my standing, because you can actually predict what is going to happen based on the information and the facts that you have. If you put them in a model, you can actually calculate the probability of what is most likely to happen because of what is happening right now in the situations. So with the prophets, for me, it's a prediction. Right. It's not factual, it's a prediction, because I can also predict myself. I can do a prediction and just put some facts into a model and come up with a result of what is most likely to happen. So for me, prophets, this is something else. That's another avenue that you're asking me.
Okay. Let's bring this to an end. What do you think is going to happen after this? Obviously, ZANU-PF Congress has came up and is gone. Nothing happened. No one got fired. What do you think is going to happen?
Obviously, he's going to be reprimanded by the party, because the party has got disciplinary values, and the party is very good at doing that. He's going to be reprimanded. Either he's going to be banned from the party or suspended from the party. And those are two scenarios that will happen to him. And also, I think the party is actually investigating further with regards to what is exactly happening and where he is getting the motive to submit such nullification papers against E.D. Mnangagwa after 4 years, when we have removed Robert Mugabe, and why today?
Okay, and then is this safe to do this kind of thing? I wanted to ask Mkoma Saib when I talked to him, can you make such kind of a challenge, which if you don't have muscle, can you do this?
Personally, I've got respect for him for doing that, because that's what we have been advocating for. With regards to political parties, you should be able to question your political party. You should not be following your political party blindly. So personally, I've got respect for him when he did that, because that's the way of dealing with issues. But with regards to whether these court papers are going to succeed or pass, that's something else. He has got guts. Those are the respects that I have for him. He has got guts, and I believe most MDC supporters should be actually looking at this situation as well and be able to question their leaders or their political party that way. But I am not saying that what he is asking is right, but the issue surrounding questioning our political leaders, if you do not feel that they have done something that is correctly, and pushing those, he actually quoted those articles in the Constitution. So as a member and a supporter, I've got respect for him when he did ask those things.
Okay. Mr. Panganai Mhlanga, a broadcaster, very, very interesting. You helped me with this topic that I could not do myself because I don't really have much information. But to those who want to see the actual court papers, please go to gambako.com and look for this story, the one that I just displayed here, who is behind E.D. Mnangagwa presidency court challenge. You will find the document there. You also find the struggle for the vice president. Very, very dangerous document, which I do not know where it came from, but it's extremely dangerous document that makes accusations against people, prophets, a lot of other people. And that has been circulating on various WhatsApp groups over the past few weeks. And stories like this, what I see, Mkoma Panganai, is when you see a story like this, it's just a precursor to something bigger that is going to come. There is something around the corner that will suddenly just surprise us.
Yes.
It's just about to happen. And everyone is got their, if it was the Wild West, everyone has got their gun on their side. They just want to take it out.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
because it's politics. So you know that without even speculating or mentioning people like what that document has been saying, but we can also come up with theories in terms of what is exactly happening. And one of the theories, I didn't want to share it here right now, but I'm just going to say it. It's just a theory, in my own opinion. We have always been talking about splitting ZANU-PF from the opposition side, and he could be working with opposition as well. This is my own opinion and also a theory, guys, and don't take it as a factual, but it's just a theory. If MDC have found the guts to actually split ZANU-PF, this will be another strategy that will actually make sense actually to split ZANU-PF. It's a theory.
I think you've got a point. This could be a plan from outside ZANU-PF to confuse everyone and to cause chaos. Because if you look at the way the second document is written, it's a very, very damaging. But obviously, it's out there. People have seen this document all over. And I doubt that it's going to have any impact. The war veterans have also been dragged into this whole situation. And I want to see what happens when this goes to court. Do we have judges who can sit there and hear such a case?
Well, I believe our justice system is independent, and they can listen to that case. If it makes sense, he will be granted the order. But if it doesn't make sense, it will be squashed based on the understanding of the Constitution, based on the articles that he quoted. And I've already, just as a layman, just mentioned the issue of confusion with regards to when he said that it gives the Secretary of Administration ultimate rights to convene a meeting, when it actually only says that it gives that administration secretary rights to act as. And that's a gray area there. And that nullification papers of his will be squashed.
Okay, very, very interesting. And I wonder what Mpoko is thinking about this. What do you think Mpoko is thinking about this?
I'm not quite sure. I cannot speak on his behalf, but it's interesting for him to be activated, actually, because he has been quiet for a very long time. And based on the theories, like what we said, who is behind this, he could be also behind this, since he has been mentioned as a person that can actually convene that meeting and restart it from the beginning. So he could be behind it, but it's a theory. I'm not accusing him of being behind it, but he's he's a smoking gun also.
Yeah, I just don't think President Mnangagwa is an easy person to remove. I don't think you can just remove him with a court paper like this.
No, you can't. Those are the facts that people need to understand. The prowess, we have been talking about the intellectual prowess that ZANU-PF has got, and ZANU-PF is bigger than the individuals within ZANU-PF. It's a system, it's an idea. ZANU-PF is an idea. It's not a political party, but actually an idea. So you see that the system that they've put in place, the people that are in ZANU-PF are just managing and monitoring the system that they've put in place. So even if he's not there or anybody's not there, ZANU-PF will exist because of these systems.
Yes, I do agree with you. And I want to respond to Kumbulani Terensai. He says, always fighting Chamisa. What kind of person is Gambakwe? Chamisa is no one in Zimbabwe politics because he cannot create a system. And Ngoma Panganai, you just explained this. A system is something that exists outside of a person. If Chamisa is hit by a bus today, MDC Alliance is gone. There's no MDC Alliance. It's not a system. It does not exist beyond Chamisa. If Chamisa is in Buhera, that day, MDC Alliance is in Buhera. If Chamisa is in Bulawayo, that day MDC Alliance is in Bulawayo. It's not a real thing. In fact, I can say it's a joke. The way it is now, they need to do more to make it a system. It's not a system. If Chamisa was to take office today, people will remove him within 6 months. He won't manage to even set up a government. He doesn't have enough people to set up a government as you speak.
Yes.
So I don't think MDC guys understand this, what a system is.
Yeah, that's a challenge as well. That's why you see that people, they do not question, because you won't be questioning an individual. Actually, you are questioning the system within a political party. And people, they do not actually understand that. And when they come, this whole discussion is not about Chamisa. I think we've been talking about ZANU-PF. And to my surprise, somebody just comes on our show and talks about we are hating Chamisa or something like that. It doesn't make sense. It's very unfortunate, rather.
No, I like Chamisa when he's talking. He's got, like, his jokes are interesting, but I do not think he's there where you can remove ZANU-PF. That I can assure you.
That one I agree with you. It's a very unfortunate for the supporters, but they need to understand that they don't have a system to put to remove ZANU-PF, which has got that system that we have just been talking about. That's where they lack. If they have the system that competes with ZANU-PF, then they can remove ZANU-PF. But with this type of system and the way that they do things, they cannot do that, because they are way behind ZANU-PF in terms of intellectual prowess, So I agree with you 100% there. You can't have MDC in power rather with this type of things that they do.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Panganai Mhlanga. Where can we find you? What platform can we find you on?
Okay, I've got many platforms now, because you can find me on the Afro Hot Mic, right? That's my platform. But then I'm also a DJ, part-time DJ. But for the sake of separating politics and personal life, would rather people come to the Afro Hot Mic page. Yes.
Okay, that is on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll be back again next week. I think next week, let's look at something a bit more detailed, a bit deeper. And I think we all saw the Zambian budget. Maybe when we get time, we can look at that. Very, very interesting what Hakainde Hichilema has done with his first budget. So maybe let's have a look at that. We'll take a week to look at it. Thank you very much, sir.
Can I add
yes,
that
yes.
on Hichilema, Zambian president?
Yes.
People are just praising him for now, but this is premature to do that for a president that just assumed office from a previous person who was supposed to be in opposition of another party. It's just premature to compare how he manages his finances without evidence and claiming that he is doing much better than ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is squandering money. That's just a theory and assumptions that are not based on any evidence whatsoever. It's premature to actually analyze this guy, but we'll look at the budget and see how it will go. But it's premature to celebrate him. We need to give him time. We spoke about even MDCs to come into power. They also need time, and they also need our support as well to achieve the goals and the objectives that they want to achieve for the people of Zimbabwe.
Okay. I think this has been a good show, and thank you very much for coming here today. Let us talk again next week, and then we'll obviously be watching the South African elections. The results will start being announced this morning. As we go towards the morning, the ANC is going to probably get massacred because of, especially in Johannesburg, where Mashawa is doing so well. Let's see what happens there between EFF, then Mashaba and DA. I think DA is going to lose big. ANC is going to lose big.
Well, we'll see. These revolutionary parties like ZANU-PF, there's a heart which most people have, and most of these people, they are the actual voters, and the noise that people actually make on social media, it's just a representation of a figment of people's imagination. But when the responsibility to actually do what we have been talking about has been called upon to you to do it, most people, they don't do it. So most people are not going to vote, and those people who vote all the time, and those people, they don't talk much, they don't say anything, and they're just going to vote. So you find that that's another thing, you know.
All right, thank you very much, sir, and good night.
Thank you very much.
The issue is that all of this was done outside the provisions of the party's constitution, because the constitution clearly stipulates that only the Secretary of Administration is the only one who could convene lawfully a session of the Central Committee in the exercise of his or her powers. And
kuno, abo, pano.